The Earth is full of impossible structures that were made thousands of years ago. Whenever we visit or see them in photographs, we wonder how this structure was even built in that era. These structures are what made us go deeper into history and learn more and more about how they were designed. Who gave the order to make this? What is the story behind it? What is the reason why it was built? How come something like this was possible without the current technology? And every structure out there tells a story about the period that they were made, a history, a reason, and some of these reasons are so beautiful, and some of them are devastating. Like the Taj Mahal. It was created as the symbol of love, but in the end, Shah Jahan cut off the hands of workers that worked on the structure. That's devastating when you think about the pain and suffering it brought to thousands of people. So when we know the true story, we are actually able to understand the value of the structure, and we can have some respect for those people who made these structures. Today we are going to talk about one structure that has a story behind it. Today we are going to discuss how ancient engineers built impossible pyramids 4,500 years ago. Egypt has a total of 138 pyramids that are present there for 4,500 years. They have faced 1,000 earthquakes and tornadoes but stood tall nonetheless. The tallest of them all is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Yes, the same pyramid that was on the 7 wonders of the world when I was in school. And yes, it truly is a wonder. The Pyramid of Giza covers an area of 13 acres, and if you are an American, then it is as much as 9 football fields. It contains approximately 23 lakh stones, and some of them weigh as much as 50 tons. The weight of the whole pyramid is around 60 lakh tons. Again, if you're an American, then that's around the weight of 12 Burj Khalifas. Yeah, that's insanely a lot. Now comes the first question. Why are these pyramids made? And who were the people that made them? Well, if you ask why, then there still isn't a perfect answer. Yes, we know that it's used as a grave. But who would build this insane structure just to use it as a grave? I mean, I won't. The closest theory suggests that in Egyptian culture, it is believed that when a person dies, they become a star. So these pyramids are built for the royal blood, so they can become gods when they die. Yes, that's stupid, but that's the best we got. Maybe in a few years we would be able to build a time machine and go back in time and ask them, why are you doing this? And only then will we have a clear answer. The next question is, who made these pyramids? And before you guys say aliens, I would like to say that we don't have any proof that there were aliens that helped them to make these pyramids. Still, I do think that is possible. Ha, I'm just kidding. For a long time, people believed that slaves were forced to work on these pyramids, but when archaeologists took a good look at the bones they found near the pyramid, they came to the conclusion that they were slaves. They were workers, as many of them had operations and surgeries, and during that time no one would help a slave. They were all right with them dying while working. So according to the current speculation, workers were ones who built the pyramid, and yes, they were getting paid to do this, but still, we don't have a clear answer. There are many mysteries about these pyramids, and the only thing we have are theories. We can't prove anything. The first question is how each side of the pyramid is perfectly facing one of the poles. Now just imagine how difficult it would be for an ancient architect to place each side with 0% error, and it was done 4,500 years ago, with the help of any compass or without detecting magnetic waves. So how was this done? Well, the answer lies in stars. Yes, you heard me right. And no, it's not aliens. The ancient architect must have watched the pole stars, as every pole star has a star, so the theory is they just aligned every side with their respective star. Now it seems simple, but it is hard as they have to do a lot of calculations to get this much precision. I mean, it is 0% error. It is absolute perfection. What else can you ask for? The next big this is leveling the area of 13 acres. As if you want the structure to be strong, you've got to have a flat surface where you build it, and it was a challenging task. Just imagine they didn't have any laser level or a bubble level, so how come they did it? Because we are sure that they did it, as these pyramids are still standing. They had survived thousands of terrible earthquakes. So how these people with almost no technology did that? Again, there is a theory. Experts believe that they dug a hole all around the construction site and then filled it with water, where water level at one side matching the other and then leveling the whole land according to the water level by using chisel and hammer. When you think about it, you can conclude that how hectic it must have been to level space of 13 acres by just using a chisel and hammer. But if I am being honest with you, then it is just the start. Now, if you have seen the pyramid, then you know that it's made up of big rocks that are just in shape of rectangular squares. Now the question is, how did they carve the stone to be that way? In Morden's world, we can do that by simply using a jackhammer or a grinder, but they were doing it 4,500 years ago. So how? The answer is simple. They used the most common tools that were used everywhere at that time. Yes, you guessed it correct. They used chisel and hammer. They cut rocks weighing around 50 tons with just a chisel and hammer. I can't even imagine how much time it would take to cut all these 23 lac stones and how many workers were working on it. They used a chisel made out of copper, as copper is a relatively soft metal. There are traces of arsenic in the tools that were used in carving the stone. This made the chisel strong to carve stones. Tough job, I must say. Thank God we have electricity and jackhammers. Anyway, moving on. Now, if you know, the inside of a pyramid isn't made up of the same stones as outside. Outside are made up of limestone, but insides are made up of granite. Granite is a tough rock. A diamond is a 10 and a granite is a 7 on the hardness scale. By this, you can imagine how hard granite is. So how were they able to cut granite? Even today, we can't cut granite without a grinder. But they did it without. How? Experts believe that they used a metal saw, without any teeth, and then they used to put some sand on the area, or keep on grinding it till it is carved. The last task would be assembling everything. Stones were ready, the area was leveled, the only thing left to put it all together, and apparently, that was the toughest job. Now, these stones were carved at Tura, which is 250 kilometers away from Giza. These stones weigh a lot, and there weren't any animals that can take up that much weight. Here, engineers worked smart. They built up boats and used the river as a means of transport. This task was also very difficult. It would have required 500 laborers to only load and unload a single rock. Now, how they assembled this all? How they would have taken rocks up? According to experts, there are only two possible ways. The one is a spiral track, which is the most efficient way, building a ramp all around the pyramid and transporting the stones. The other way is by making a zigzag track on each side. Now, this is way more difficult than the spherical track, as the angle of elevation is high, so it would be much more difficult to transport stones. So till the very end, we know nothing about pyramids. We are just going according to theories. We have no correct answer, but we can just hope that these theories are true. Now, a fun question for you, and you aren't allowed to Google it. How many workers do you think were working on the pyramid? Pause this video and go to the comment section. Give me your answer and come back, and I'll give you the right answer. Go! You back? So the correct answer is 1 lakh worker were working at the same time. Wow, that's crazy. If you were close to the answer, congratulations. If you weren't now, you know it. Congratulations. See it as a win-win. So that was all for today. Please do subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for this kind of knowledgeable and fun video. Until next time, bye-bye.